Hello everyone, welcome to Justin Paints Japan. Today we are going to be painting this beautiful place. Let's have a look. It is like in the middle of the mountains. It's really beautiful mountains in South Japan. Really beautiful place. Danae, welcome. Hope you're doing well. We're back. Back in action. Oh, I think I just we restarted that, so let's see if we can get it going. Oh. There we go. All right, so we are back. I'm gonna paint this like little beautiful mountain shrine. There's a lot of things that I think I like about it. I might. Ooh, look at that distortion as it goes in and out. That's hilarious. I really enjoy. It's just got so much character. And then we have these clouds behind it. It's just this other beautiful element that we can use. We can kind of pull and push them to focus on wherever we want in this painting. So that'll be really cool. And then this bowl, for some reason, I like it. I like it. So I think we're probably going to do it sort of like this. This is how we're going to paint it. And here we go. So, make sure we got everything we need. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Gotta get everything all sorted out. But I'm trying something new this time. I've got my palette in here, so I can talk a little more about maybe the colors that I'm using. So feel free to ask questions about that. I know I've had a lot of people ask for me to be a little more explicit about what I'm doing when I'm mixing colors, and hopefully that can be helpful to you guys. Oh, like my haircut. Thank you. Thank you. Amy says, hello, happy painting. Thank you. Yeah, glad to be back. Back in action. Okay, so I just found out that I left my paintbrushes somewhere. Oh, you know what? I got it. Got it. Kukia says, hello, enjoying you live while eating. Oh, good. I'm glad you're here. So let's have a look. I'm going to do the usual, kind of just wetting down what I'm working on. I have it taped down today in hopes to, one, get a nice clean edge on the side, and two, not experience as much warping as I had last time that I was painting with you guys. There was a bunch of warping, and normally on my own that's fine, but when I'm painting with you, that means that there's some places that have these like little reflections in it and not everyone can see super well. So I'm gonna let that soak in for a while. I've got my colors here. Let's have a little look at the reference. So there's a couple of things while I'm here that I think I'm gonna really push. One of them is gonna be the temperature difference. So we've got this skylight that's coming down, which is gonna be really nice, I think. And then we've got the immediate light source coming in, and so just playing between those warms and those cools I think is going to be really nice. Oh, hello. That's not what I meant to do. Okay, then we've got the blue skylight, which at the moment is kind of the biggest color that we got going on. Maybe some of these greens down here, and so I think I might push that a bit, get a bit more color in there, and we'll see. So I mean, this is basically what we're gonna do. So down here I think it's gonna be more interesting in terms of how we deal with that. So let's get to it. I think I might go grab some of my extra paints to do this sky. My paints over here, just my white My white's a bit lacking. Horst, hi, how you doing? Glad for you to join us. Here we go. Now, I haven't used these in a while, so it's a bit dry. But you know what? That one's okay. This one, let's have a look. Ooh, it's not even opening. There we go. And that one's fine. Let's go with this one. Horst says, I'm doing pretty okay, doing some 3D topology. Just had some time to pop in for at least a little. That's awesome. What are you retopologizing? Something that you did, or you're trying to fix somebody else's miserable topology? Horst says, is retopologizing a stylized rodent skull? That sounds fun. Okay, so let's pull in. Oh, that was not as wet as I thought it was going to be. Pull in some of this. Oh, Horst has it on Twitter, so let's have a little look. Oh, nice. Yeah. I love how smooth that is. Willow, saw you at the live stream on Fantastic Week. Thanks. Yeah, that was a good conversation. That was a really good conversation this morning. Kind of needed that reminder to not just try and get 8 hours of work done a day, no matter how I'm feeling or what I'm doing. Being mindful of where I am. S. Matty M says hello. Hello, how's it going? So let's have a little look. We are, yeah. I'm gonna try and get this. David, hey, how you doing? Welcome. We are just starting. Maybe my paper's a bit too wet. Maybe not. But good news is, here, I want to make this a little darker up there. I almost want to get more of a cobalt blue out for this action. But I might not. Oh, this blue is so, it just completely stained my water. Oh well, that happens. Okay, so that's kind of nice. Let's, oh, Mehdi says, what medium is this? This is called poster color. It's kind of like gouache. Yeah, real fun, really diverse thing, diverse medium. Okay, so we've got this. Gonna make some decisions right now about what these clouds are gonna do. I almost want the focus to be on this little piece, so I like it actually as it is. The values between the roof and the sky up here are close together, so it means that it's going to be, it's not going to demand your attention as much. And then I might extend that out across to the side. David says, this place looks so nice. Where is it actually? It is in Japan. As to where exactly it is, I'll have to go back and have a look and rename the stream to get exactly what it is. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to start to remove some of this paint here, kind of at the three-quarter mark. I'm removing this paint so that I can start to put some of these clouds in. If I don't remove it, then I'll be fighting kind of how dark the clouds get. they'll keep wanting to get darker and darker and darker. But if I remove a bunch of this paint, there's not going to be quite as much of a fight. So that's nice. And then kind of just for the sake of it, I'll do another little bit of cloud right here. Sorry, I didn't get you guys back in again. There we go. So here we go, just literally scrubbing the paint off. Danae says, can't see the paper. Yeah, that was my bad. Sorry. Can you see it now? You're all good now? Okay, now I can come in with some white. Kind of charge it up. Oh, good. Very good. So there we go. So Danae, I loved seeing your little street view thing that you did. It looked like it was a fair bit of work. It's really nice. Was that Morocco? Is that where it was? Alright, so we got these guys in. I think that's good for here now. I'm gonna zoom in so we get a bit more reference just right there. Okay, so this is really nice. I'm liking it. Now I'm gonna come in and just block in a bunch of this stuff. We're gonna be fast movers today. Okay. And everything is gonna turn out slightly blue because my water is just drenched. Cool. Let's see. I'm actually gonna get a copy of this. Get another one over here where I can see it a bit better. Bing. Oh, Arlux is now following. Thank you, Arlux. Danae says, thanks. It was somewhere in Brazil. Some gorgeous mountains out there. I think I used too much brown and black. I didn't see a reference. I don't know, but it looked really good. That was really cool. Esme says, "Ooh, I found your Twitch much better. Are you a native Twitcher?" David says, "By the way, I really like your paintings. Thank you. I appreciate that." Alrighty. Okay, now I can see everyone talking. I've got my version of the reference that's just gonna be a little more close up than what I can see on the other screen. S. Maddie M says, yeah, I use Twitch way more than other streaming services. Cool. Very cool. Alright, let's get into it. So one really cool thing about doing these kind of gray little, like all this stone, it's all kind of the same local color. So it's a place to really hit up the color temperature, which is really nice. Really nice. So I'm just procrastinating at this point. So I'm going to oh, you guys can't see that. There we go. Alright. So some of this more gray stuff, instead of thinking about it as black, I'm going to come in and think about it as a combination of transparent blue and red and yellow. And I'll use them really transparently and kind of twine them together a bit. So, I'm going to start off pretty transparently, and Mix them together, see how it goes. Sorry, still just figuring out how I'm seeing everything. So I want this main piece right here, and I see that it's bleeding all over the place. So I need to be way more broad than that at this point. Everything's a little too wet. In fact, let's come in. There we go. Dry it off a little. If anyone's got any questions, feel free to ask. So I'm not thinking about details at this point. I just really just want to get down the, maybe just the gist of things. And I'm almost using this stuff like watercolor at this point. So I might actually want to thicken it up a touch. Stephanie says, hello, hello, how's it going? We've got a little painting that we're doing, nice little thing from Japan. Oh, man, that wasn't even going. Feel free to tell me if the camera starts to lose it. I need to update my camera system. Sometimes it just does not. Oh my gosh. Now I've got this one down here. Denise says, do you ever use a blow dry to speed up the process? Oh, I see what's going on. Sorry. Technical problems. There we go. You know what? I haven't really gotten into that. I don't really like loud noises, so it might be a really good idea. I don't really want to subject myself to it all the time. No, there's no reason to not do it. But I'm just not really in the habit of it. Okay. So we've got this. You know, I'll probably end up coming in and changing up the kind of colors that I'm using, but I basically kind of have this philosophy of just getting things done. Like if I just come in and I do it, I can come back and fix it up later. That's what's really awesome about working in a versatile medium like gouache, is it'll... Man, this is bleeding all over the place. Oh well, I'll deal with that. But is that I can come back in and change things if I need. And it's really easy, much easier to judge what's going on. If I have some kind of relationship to do it in. Like making something lighter than something else, or darker, or cooler, or warmer. It's all this kind of like relationship language. It's all very comparative. So in a certain way, this first stage at the moment, at least in this piece, is kind of all about getting stuff down. Building those relationships, and then I can come back in and change them up if I want. Okay. Foot King says, hello, so happy to finally get to one of your streams. Well, thanks for joining me, Foot King. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, we're painting this little mountain shrine in Japan. Doing some interesting things. We're really just in the very beginning stages of it, which is a fun place to be. Because we can go crazy and still have the time to come back. Alright. So yeah, this is a very exploratory part of the process right now. Just building relationships, building feelings, letting paint merge into each other, being really chaotic. I actually kind of really enjoy being super chaotic at this point. The more chaotic I can try to be, the more... It's kind of like a controlled explosion. There's a lot of power in it. It can go crazy, but generally it'll turn out better if I'm kind of nursing this chaos. Danae says, I like the music, perfect volume. Oh, good. Look, and if I go quiet, it comes back up again. When I talk, it goes back down. It's nice. Okay. Yeah, so here we are. Now I suppose, yeah, I'll just keep going. We'll just keep going, try and get some coverage here. Okay, so everything beyond these steps is kind of in the shadow, at least for here now. So it's all going to be relatively cool. At least for here now. Yeah, so one of the benefits of doing so much wet stuff is that at this point, something like this can really make its own detail. I can come back in and kind of use the craziness that's developed, and let my mind make patterns of all of the different patterns that the paint is made. And so you kind of have this crazy paint pattern making that turns into like cement and rock making. Flaming Glah, thanks for joining us today. Flaming Glah says, nice start that you've got going there. Thank you. Thank you. This will be an interesting one. Let's see, I just closed everything. Oh well, now we got it back. Yeah, we're doing a bit of a chaotic start, and I like it. So, in that kind of like early stages of wet stuff everywhere. I think I've got a different paper here today as well. This is a cold press, so there's a little more texture to it. Generally I like to go for a hot press, but we'll see. I haven't used a cold press in a long time. Okay, so while this is wet, I really want to put a whole bunch of darks into it. Here we go. I've got let's see, I've got some black, some Viridian, some warm yellow. That'll be really nice. And come in and David says, you never do a pre-drawing, just go straight to the painting? Most of the time, yeah. Most of the time. I've got nothing against doing a pre-drawing, and if I have particularly difficult architecture subject matter, I will definitely be doing a pre-drawing, but not this. This doesn't need it. Okay, let's have a look. Yeah, so that's pretty nice. Actually, I really like how these trees turned out. I just hope that they kind of stay that way and don't, if they start to merge into each other too much, there's actually nothing wrong with that in and of itself, but I like the shapes that they have, and I'm afraid I might lose a little of the clarity in those shapes. But we'll see. Alright, and finally we have this other one. I'm gonna put a little more blue in there. I can see that oh, I keep pressing something and closing everything. Here we go. Sorry, I got a whole bunch of technical difficulties today. The camera, dang it. There we go. I'm so sorry, guys. There's something wrong here. Amos said I was searching for your art and found this. Perfect. Thanks for joining. Okay. So let me know as soon as things start freezing up. I gotta fix this in the long run, but today we're just gonna be playing catch up. Okay, there's something nice a bit closer. Adriano says, hey, what's going on? How are you doing? We are painting this little shrine that we got going on here. Okay. Gotta get that back up. This thing keeps going on to the wrong... Let's have a look. There we go. Alright. Let me know if anything starts going crazy again. Right. So, I was mixing a little more blue into this one, just so I can have, as I pull this tree in, this one over here, I want it to be separate and distinct from the other tree, so I'm just going to put a little more, and I can see that it's kind of a cooler temperature than the other ones. So let's put this in here. Now I'm doing something today I don't normally do. Actually wasn't intentional. I think I ended up moving most of this painting down a bit to have more sky, which is that I've not actually got any paint on right here. I normally don't have a bunch of the actual paper just showing through. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see if we decide to do that again. It might be too jarring, but I think it might be fine. Okay. Okay, so then there's this nice, really warmer and lighter kind of ground shrub coming in here. And so very quickly we're kind of building up all the different elements. Building up a bunch of different elements. You know, I'm going to sort of bleed these together, and then once they dry, I'm going to come in with the sort of the darker qualities of this tree. Okay. And then we've got some dirt, which I shouldn't have started just yet, because that tree will blend right in. This bush will blend right in if I bring them together right now. Just like that. Okay. So I think this stuff over here is a little bit drier. So we can come in and start to put some of these textures in. Okay. So get us all light, and we're still dealing with kind of grays. So my main idea, my main thought is trying to just think about what's warmer, what's cooler. But I have a mess here at the moment, so I'm going to come in. Definitely try to get some thicker paint. Get some nice coverage. And at the moment, this stuff is in the light, so it's definitely going to be warmer. Down here too. Just to get some like planes, you know, things that look like they're going in the same direction, and get a slightly lighter version. Alright, so that's good. Let's bring in the shrubs that are behind it. And I'm going to make them pretty dark for, really even just for the sake of the contrast of it all. Whoa, there's a bunch of water there. Oh well. Adriana says, Justin, do you do your commission work digitally or traditionally? Normally, these days I basically try to do everything traditionally. That's kind of my preference, and it tends to be how it goes. Whoa. Alright. So let's get some of this shadow stuff in here. So it's in the shadow, it's going to be cooler. But I still want to make it relatively dark, and I don't want it to be straight blue. So I'm going to warm it with a bit of red. And I want it to be sort of definitively darker. One of the things that'll help it to read well is just to know where the light is and where the dark is. And if you can follow the light along, then you've pretty well convinced someone's brain about what the form is. Okay, so up till now I've kind of ignored some of the stuff that's down here. I'm definitely going to put this bowl in. It's beautiful. I'm not sure about this like little, it looks like a birdhouse. Surely it's not. That's just my cultural ignorance kicking in. Okay, so now things are dry, I can start to put in some real nice hard lines and stuff. There we go. Okay, I am gonna put that in. Just because this like nice little like red / copper tint roof, which I think works really well. All right. maybe even work a little more on these shadows that I'm seeing. That I was just doing. They kind of dried a little lighter, but at the same time, they're not going to be the focused, so I think that's going to be okay. I think maybe we just give them a little bit of core shadow in some areas. That'll help to bring out the form. Stephanie says, watching you paint is so inspirational. Thank you. I'm glad you feel that way. What do you feel inspired to paint? If in fact painting is what it inspires in you, I suppose it could inspire other things. So here's some cast shadow coming in here. Yeah, so okay, so I'm definitely going to be the pay-per-view is shrunk down. You're right. Boom, there we go. Thank you. I keep wanting to move away from doing this shadow, but I just need to focus on this, all this shadow work here. Because once I get that solidified, the rest is going to just fall into place. Okay. So man, this corner, I don't know what happened. This is all, it's almost all still wet. Down here. There's a really nice edge coming down here. As well as, actually this is going to help a lot. I don't know exactly what's wet up here, so I'm going to just do this little trick of trying to get a straight line going. Though clearly it doesn't need to be too straight because the actual thing up there is full of bumps, which is really good because it's still wet and it's bleeding everywhere. Yay! It's fine. It's kind of part of the aesthetic, right? Alright, let us get rid of some of that. So we're working a little more transparently, bring this shadow in more. There we go. This is one of those things where we're really not trying to match color, we're kind of just trying to match or be inspired by color temperature. What's warmer, what's cooler. If I was trying to match color, I'd be a goner. But I think that's actually true of most painting at most times. Alright. Going to get a little darker in here. Once again, for that contrast, really solidify the edges. Okay, so that's nice. We're going to come in. There's some more really nice forms going on here. If any of you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Obleh says hello. Hello, how are you doing? How are you doing? We are painting this mountain shrine in Japan. So I love when rocks kind of break up. They kind of, a lot of the time they break up as if there's like, as if you had a whole bunch of graham crackers in your hand and you like broke the top off. There's like this uneven lines going off everywhere. FM says, hello, how you doing? Okay, so this is really nice. Oblus says, where do you get your references from? These references, this is from Google Earth. So, beautiful places. So we're in Japan at the moment, actually. So a quick, full 360. There's actually a couple of scenes I could have painted from here, but this was the most interesting. Yeah, super cool stuff. Let's see what we're like over here. I think we're dry there. So there's some... I think I'm going to put a little more sort of red in this dark concoction that I'm doing at the moment to separate it from the previous one. It's not going to be a huge separation, but I think it's going to be evident. I think it's just going to help. It's going to help. Even if you might not be able to see it on the screen. Blue says, I never thought of using Google Earth for painting. Yeah, well, it's kind of it's my substitute for traveling. Love to travel, but I'm not really in a position to do it at the moment. Maybe one day. What I'm looking forward to is maybe 5G or 6G or whatever comes to the point where you can basically be anywhere on Earth and have really good internet connection. At that point, if I can afford it, I'll definitely be setting up like a portable streaming situation. I'm really looking forward to that. That way we can do this stuff for real. And it'll be amazing. Okay, so I'm looking at this little one, and actually it's kind of got this green tinge to it. It's really nice. FM says, do you specifically look for these places? Yeah, absolutely. I'm kind of doing this kind of fake tour of Japan. I started down Yakushima Island down near the bottom, and I'm making my way up, painting as we go. So there's kind of this logic to it, and then I go up onto Google Earth and try and find where my next spot's going to be. And then traveling up as I go. Danae says, I've been going to the local coffee shop to catch you, otherwise my internet's like 3 minutes behind. Oh no. Wow, thanks for putting in all that effort. That's encouraging. Can you tell us more about the video game you're working on, or is it NDA? Adriana says. I can tell you more about it. There's a couple of things I can't tell you, but actually they're giving a lot of freedom for what they're wanting to do, which is great. It's called Lunaphon. It is like a 2D side scroller. The whole thing is hand painted and animated. They're putting a lot of effort into it. So it's this really nice. It's really nice stuff. I was just working on these yesterday. These are kind of ground planes that the character is going to be walking on, all the way through a forest. So you've kind of got a whole bunch of different kind of mossy rocks and lots of different ground planes that they can place in. But yeah, really, really cool stuff. I'm really excited that they wanted to work with me on it. Adriana says, I saw those on Instagram. Yeah, they were. I think that's probably one of the really things that I'm most grateful for about that situation is that they're an indie group, so I think they're appreciative of the coverage I can help give it. But at the same time, I really appreciate the fact that I can share any of it. I might need to lighten this up a little bit. There we go. Oh, Prana says, can you make a tutorial on ground planes? I probably could. I don't know how much of a market there is for that. You apparently. Prana would appreciate that. Definitely keep that in mind. I'll kind of be talking about that stuff in my the landscape course that I'll be doing later on. So there's a lot of there's a section in it about functional, practical perspective. Oh, Abdullah is now following. Thank you. And I hope I'm not completely slaughtering your name every time I say it. I kind of feel like I am, but we'll see. Yeah, so a lot of the things about kind of this functional, practical perspective, you know, as a landscape artist, it's not always obvious the way that you can show perspective. And so finding ways that you can show perspective and have it really communicate about. Maha says, please save the broadcast. I think it'll be here. I think you're watching on Twitter, right? Yeah, it'll be there. You can get back to it. Yeah, there's some crucial ways that you can show and communicate. Oblu says you pronounce it a lot better than most streamers. Funny. Well, if you have any hints as to how I can pronounce it even better still, just let me know. I actually think I've got these. Not convinced about the color that I've been using here. Ooh, the one I just put down is nice. But I'm going to have to wait for a lot of this to dry before I come back in again for round number 2. But here, I'm going to come back in. Yeah, so how dry is that? That's dry now. Yeah, so in my landscape course, I've been working on a practical perspective for landscape artists, which has been really good. Stuff that I haven't really that I know that I use, and I haven't really sort of been able to think about and put into words before. Anyway, I was just saying that to say I've got it kind of uses a lot of similar concepts to what I'm using there. But yeah, working on the video game is really fun. FM says, any future YouTube videos? I had kind of my initial plans for all of these were to speed them up and then do a little talk over and sort of every week or two have, release a bunch of them. But that's a lot of work that I don't think I quite have the time for at the moment. I'd love to, though. I'm trying to think of ways that I can produce content that's not super time consuming to create, and that's not always. It's actually difficult. So at the moment, I'm just focusing on sort of creating a rhythm in creating everything that I currently am. And once I have that stuff kind of all down pat, I can think about how to do any more. Okay, why did I just get this? This is why. Thinking about coming, now that this stuff is dry, I can come back in again. FM says, yeah, I understand. Yeah. PK Ring says, ooh, how do you choose which details to keep from the photo? I will get back to that. Today says, I've watched you paint anything, could be sped up with some music on top, not words or anything. It's true. It's true, I could do that. That would be relatively easy. But how do I choose which details to keep from the photo? There's a certain hierarchy of, I don't know what you call it, hierarchy of information. Determining what information is important and what's not. That's the question you're asking. And so right now, my main concern is thinking about what helps something to communicate 3D, right? What will make it look like something that is standing there in space? So that's question. That's sort of hierarchy level number one. That's what I'm trying to do. And so I'm not really thinking about textures. I'm not really thinking about necessarily all the materials on it, of everything. But if I have to split it up, that's kind of what I'm thinking about. How to communicate this in 3D space. And then after that, I can come back in with textures and with details and information. But so the first idea is, how do I split superfluous detail from detail that communicates three-dimensional qualities? So something like this stuff down here, I've put in very similar stuff to this. Oh, Cub, hi, how are you doing? This light and dark transitions as it's sort of going in between light and dark, light and dark, light and dark. That's really communicating something that is 3D. So I put that information in. What I haven't done is put down, like, down here, let's see, here, I haven't put any of these like little, moss or mold or lichen, any kind of the stuff like that, because it's not really communicating 3D. And so that's kind of not the stage that I'm in yet. If I'm communicating about this right here, I'm concerned with how the light's hitting it and how much light is on the light and dark quality of everything. But I'm not really interested in these little nook and crannies, because at this point, that's like secondary detail. If I get just the main idea down, then I've created something that's 3D. And so that's kind of step one. And then step two is to start describing the materials within that 3D space that I've already created, so I can come back in and put in little nooks and crannies and things. So that's the basic explanation. How to determine what kind of details that you put in. The other side of it is kind of, what do I want you to feel? And I don't need to put any information in that doesn't help you feel what I want you to feel when you're looking at it. Rant over. Oh, here we go. So, right now, I'm looking and I'm seeing that there's like a ledge here, this little ledge, and that's information, the 3D information I want you to know. So there's this extra ledge here. Cub says, "Is that a new haircut I see?" It is. It is. Do you like it? My wife gave me the haircut. Danae says that was very helpful. Well, you're welcome. That's what I'm here to help. Here. So this is a weird structure. This second one, mostly probably because it's in shadow and obscured, and I can't really see everything that's going on. Let's pull this down here. It's like a little fence down there. PK Ring says, so color choices with certain exaggerations of form perspective would be things used to convey emotion. Yeah, that is true. Color definitely is an emotional quality. And then emotion is also something that is more of a filter as well. Like, I really, like, I might not have a one-to-one idea of I do this thing and it gets more emotionally that way. Except edges are very emotional as well. Having edges, like down here, I've got next to very little edges, and it kind of makes it gives it a feeling of like air and I don't know what, a bit of mystery, and I can add edges to describe things further, and as I do that, that feeling of mystery is going to start to disappear. So you kind of, there's this filter of just everything I do will affect the emotion behind it. And it's hard to sort of one-to-one tell you exactly what's going to go on. But as I'm aware of it, I don't know, it's really interesting. I haven't really explored that as much as I know I should. Plus, I can't tell with that how much is just purely subjective. But as an artist, for sure, like, in almost all art is subjective. That's why some people like it, some people don't like it. I don't think it's supposed to be removed from that scenario. Or let's get this bowl in. Maybe. I definitely want the bowl in. It's actually one of the things that drew me to this painting. Let's see. Dang it, I just closed things again. Let's see, is everything working? Everything's working. Very good. But yeah, you're right. You said certain exaggerations of form of perspective would be things used to convey emotion. That's definitely true. That is definitely true. I think ultimately everything has a certain emotional quality to it. I think in many ways you can't escape. You can't escape emotion in choosing to do what you do. And the question is, I suppose, this like lifelong learning of what conveys what. How do you actually then change and mold emotion? And that's just experimenting, as far as I'm aware. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. Whoa. Alright, there we go. I'll have to come back in and cut some of that light, but I'm happy with that. Ooh, Cup says, how do you go about building up colors in a piece? I've heard it's good to start from neutrals and bring out the saturated colors. So I've also heard the other way around too. What do you do? It depends on what I'm trying to do with my piece. I kind of tend to be more along the lines of feeling like it's really easy to make dull colors. Like that just happens. So I'm more inclined to be saturated and then sort of calm things down again on the other end of it. And that might just be kind of a water. That's very it's a very watercolor mentality, because it's kind of naturally what watercolors do. Like if we grab this and I put my blue down, and that's that's full saturated blue, and then red, and then the minute those colors touch, they become the whole mess becomes sort of less saturated and more dull. So it's like if, as I'm putting stuff on the paper, if I put a whole bunch of saturated colors together, the places they meet will become more dull, and you kind of just get these fringe colors on it. That's kind of how I'm doing. I don't think there's a really a problem with it. Oh, Rabbit's having an existential crisis and needs help. Feel free to let us know about that, if that's what you want to do. Okay, so now we're here. Let's get this little bowl. It's casting a shadow. That's what they do. Danae says dull colors are my biggest enemy. I'd rather have a piece with beautiful colors and lacking technique than a good technique and be dull. Also to be considered is the fact that sorry, mental block. Values come into play in a huge way. A lot of people will look at their painting and say, "Oh no, my colors are really dull," and still have pretty chroma-filled things, but their values are kind of in the way of. Oh, look, frozen again. Rabbit says Rabbit needed that. Glad you got it, Rabbit. Okay. Oh, I forgot that was really wet. And now it's bleeding everywhere. Oh well. So it's really interesting to look at some artists. Oh, I forget what their name. There's this artist that I follow, Chinese guy, and his works look really colorful, but they're really low in saturation. So it's this super interesting idea that you can be low in saturation but work in a way that makes it look colorful. All right, we're in the ugly phase. We're there. We are there for sure. Danae says that is super interesting. Yeah, I wish I remembered his name. If I remembered his name, I would totally give it to you guys. Might even have a little stop and look into it, but I do not recall. Okay. this dry now? I think this is dry now, so I can start to put in. That. Zoom in there. Cowboy says, when I went to shadow a college art class, the teacher showed us how to mix neutrals by matching a gray to a value of color in order to lower the saturation but keep the same value. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, those neutrals. Alright, so the question is, what does this need next? I've kind of changed the relationship between the rock and this place. Danae says, that sounds like something I'll have to try to do, Cub. I don't think I could right now. Yeah, it's a very helpful exercise. And more than exercise, that's just... yeah, you should definitely do it. I mean, in my head, that's a part of everyday mixing. A rabbit says, have you watched JoJo's Bizarre Adventure? I haven't. I honestly have no idea what you're talking about. Is it good? It sounds like it could be fun. I think I need to lower the value here a bit too. There's also something really nice about using two colors to mix a relative neutral in a transparent paint. And most paints can be transparent. Because when they're transparent, in one way they mix, in another way they're kind of just like lots of different particles of the different colors. And it comes out really, if you mix it like just enough to be that color, but not enough to be really consistently that color, then you get some really interesting effects. You get that in watercolor a lot. And you can do that transparently in oil, but very few people stay transparent in oil. Adriano says, some people have pre-mixed tubes of neutral just for that. Yeah. I kind of want this to be a little more green. I kind of feel like that's thoroughly messed up, but I'm going to leave it because I might feel differently a bit later. Okay, this place down here, I'm going to have it transition up a little bit. There we go. I think that worked out really well. Okay. So I'm now going to put this this little like bronzy, I don't know what's happening. It keeps taking away my reference, but hey, at least now you can see my palette down there. Oh well. So I like having this like kind of like a little red, bronzy piece down here, just because it brings a little more color to it. Very interesting color. What is your hardest? What's the hardest thing to do in mixing for you guys? What's the hardest part? Danae says, try to control the transparency and thickness of gouache has been a challenge. Watching this, I'm thinking I might need to stay transparent and just do more layers to build it up. That is certainly one option. I think there's different times call for different things. For sure. Sometimes that is called for. Sometimes I really love getting really wet and really thick and having it just mush up and then letting it dry and coming back in. Adriana says, for me it's matching a previous mix after I've cleaned my palette. Yes, I hear that. Flaming Glass is remixing the same color. Exactly. Yep, I hear that. That one, unfortunately, really is just a matter of... I think that one's really a matter of time. Well, I could picture some ways that you could be very intentional about like learning to do that. Just by consistently doing that. Especially with something like gouache or poster color, coming back in and redoing a color that you had before was easy enough when you're doing it in the palette, because you're coming back to the color that you see that is still wet. When it's dry, that complicates things significantly. Adriana says, it's a matter of brush mileage, I guess. Yeah, I think it is. I wish I could tell you otherwise. But I really do think it is a matter of brush mileage. Like at this point, it's not something that I think about. But that's definitely brush mileage. Just doing it until it becomes instinctive. Which, hey, good news, it will become instinctive eventually. If you let yourself do the miles. I always ended up adding too much water. Yeah, that's definitely a thing that happens. Adriana says most issues in painting can be solved by brush mileage, one could say. I think there's some truth to that. I also think that there's an art to learning how to learn. There's an art to learning how to learn. And you could do the miles and still not learn. But I think, if you're dedicated enough to learning how to paint, then you can do it. PK Rank says, smart practice is slow practice. Yeah. Deliberate practice. Exactly. Okay, I'm going to leave this to dry before I come back to it for anything else. Feeling. What am I feeling? What am I seeing? I think seeing something about my values. The Flaming Glass said, I also never mix enough paint to fill the area I want to paint because I'm cheap and gouache is expensive. I hear ya. I hear ya. That's why I do it like this. That's why I do this. I just close it up and then leave it and then re-wet it later and have it back, and then I'm not really worried too much. But yeah, when I first started oil painting, I would like never put enough paint, never mix enough paint, until someone slapped me over the head and said, Justin, most of your problems could be solved by using more paint. Rabbit says, I was going to write a really long comment about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but then the conversation became serious art advice, so now it's all intense writing was wasted. Oh, you can still, if you copied it, you can still paste it in and we'll still chuckle about it. Cubwiz says, I have. The Flaming Glass gouache is never quite the same once re-wet. It's true. Hottest thing about it. Hands down. Never quite stands once it's re-wet. Poster color, however, does. One of the few things it has over gouache. It re-wets basically the way it went down. Alright, so I'm going to put in some of this stuff. I want kind of more of this passage of light coming through. It's working and it's not working. I'm definitely feeling the ugly stage. Flaming Glass says, have you tried Sakura brand postcards? I haven't. If you try them, let me know how they are. Put some of this stuff out here. Okay. Feeling there's some value problems here. I can't quite identify where they are. Alright, let's put in the shadow. Let's just work on this stuff over here, put that shadow in. Get a better, clear look at everything. Flaming Glass says, well, I was looking into it. I might grab some, they're reasonably priced. Good, do it. I have heard of them. I have heard of them, and it doesn't remind me of anything terrible. So I don't think I have anything bad about them. But now we'll know. All right, so essentially putting the shadow in down here. Oh, Carol H says, who wrote it? Sounds neat to look up. Okay. So, unfortunately, Carol, this is on Twitch. But let me spell it out for you. It's Sakura. S-A-K-U-R-A brand poster color. S-A-K-U-R-A poster color. So, yeah, definitely look into it. Let me know how it is. Okay, so that's all right. I think this little spot here is tearing me up, but I have to wait for it to dry. Gotta wait for it to dry before I do anything about it. I'm gonna put in some darks over here. Cubwiz says, I was not, but then again, it's been a while since I read it. You must be a part of a conversation I missed. Adriano says, seems like art is a perfect candidate for the application of the principles, but one crucial thing you need is a mentor. That might be true. I think you can do it without a mentor. But man, I suppose I wish I had a mentor. Oh, Adriano says, oh, we're talking about the book Peak by Anders Ericsson. I haven't read it. I'll have to read it. A Rabbit says, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is kind of a battle anime with psychic powers called stands. Just really good. Trust me. Okay, there are 5 parts, and the first 2 parts are meh, but 3 to 5 are really good. Okay, JoJo's Bizarre. I'll have to check it out. I do love a good anime. Working on all this stuff down here, trying to give these shrubs a certain degree of 3-dimensionality. Trying to figure out where the shadow might be, where it might be touching the ground. Okay, Danae says, Adriano, am I the only one who wholeheartedly considers Justin a mentor? Cubwiz says, no, I certainly do too. Oh, you guys. You guys. Sort of yes and sort of no. I haven't really looked at your work and given critique and stuff like that. Oh, Carol says, I consider Justin a mentor. Always have a notebook and hands for notes. You guys. Oh, look, I'm turning red. I'm blushing. Right, so that's what I was saying. Adriano says, I do too, but in a strict sense, a mentor is someone who works directly with you, giving feedback on your work, according to the book. Flaming Glass says, I'm your protege, you just don't know it. Well, Flaming Glass is a patron of mine, and I actually do give her direct feedback because she's one of my patrons. If you guys want direct feedback, become a patron. We have a little section over there to be able to post your work and all that good stuff. A Rabbit says, y'all having a serious conversation while I'm trying to just get someone to watch the show. I'm sure it's a good show. I'm looking forward to it. Adriana says, I know. An unwitting mentor, maybe. And Adriana will watch it. There we go. Okay. So, good stuff going on here. Here's what I want to do. I think this ground plane is just taking up too much of my attention. I'm going to darken it. All right. So I'm doing these strokes across the page like this, so that I'm not like just giving out pure color, so it gives a more textural effect. Hey.
You have a little boy who does not feel good anymore.
You're not feeling good? You come watch me paint. Were you not able to have a nap?
He did have a nap.
You did have a nap.
But Theo had to stay there.
Poor guy. Adriana says, some artists on Patreon offer mentorships one-on-one format. Yeah, I don't offer I don't do quite that. I know some people's mentorships are pretty like intense, but I don't want to fail people like that. No, that's just not something I've quite gotten myself to yet. I don't know that. Honestly, it'd have to be pretty. It'd have to be pretty expensive to sort of make that time worth it, which is a really hard thing to say. I know. Danae said I gotta head out. Feels like a little awkward to use shut Wi-Fi after I have a drink. Catch up later. See ya. Have fun. Oh yeah, you are hot. What's it, buddy?
Who did you talk to?
Who am I talking to? Do you see over there? See all those things that people are writing? Yeah. So some people are watching me paint. Oh, sorry, my hand's in the way. They're watching me paint this, and they're talking, and I'm talking back to them. A rabbit says, "Where did the child come from?" This is Acha. Can you say hello?
Oh.
Yeah? Oh, they can't quite see that here. Up there. Hello. Acha's not feeling very well. Fleming Glass says, I think... Oh, Rabbit says, where did the child come from? Fleming Glass says, I think it came from Justin. I think you're right. Oh, look. Carol says hello. And Adriana says hello. They're saying hello to you. Isn't that cool? Yeah. Amy says, hello, little Archer. I hope you feel better. And Adriana says, poor thing. You want to say thank you? Here we go. Let's get some of this in here. There's a bunch of this stuff that I just need the paper to dry. Okay. So I think I'm beginning to feel a bit better about this. I'm still uncertain about this whole area. I feel like I just feel like this white is too much. Oh, I just closed everything again. I keep closing everything. Let's open up this. And the people. There we go.
Mickey Mouse on it.
There's Mickey Mouse? Where?
On the computer.
Where?
Behind that.
Behind that?
Yeah. Somewhere.
Somewhere. Oh, I didn't see Mickey Mouse. Okay, here's Mickey. No. Okay. Archer, what do you think I need to do with this next? What do you think? You're not sure? It's right now. They're my.
Something right there.
Something right there? Okay. You know, I think you're right. That's the part I wasn't happy with before. You got such good eyes. Let's have a look. What do you think we should do? Make it a bit lighter?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wood King says hello. Hello, Wood King. Can you say hello, Wood King?
The Wood King.
There you go. Fleming Claus says you got a future artist there. That I do. What do you want to do when you grow up, buddy? What do you?
Be a fireman.
You want to be a fireman? Okay. We'll see.
Go to a firehouse.
Go to a firehouse? That does sound pretty exciting. I think it might be a little too much excitement for me. I wasn't built that way. They think you're so cute. Are you so cute, Archer? Oh, I think that just froze there for a sec. What's that, buddy? You're not so cute? Oh, Adriana says that he thinks you should paint. Do you want to try?
Yeah.
Here, grab this. Do you see the area over here?
Uh-huh.
You want to try and put that down there? Yeah. You want to put it anywhere else? Yeah, let's just not put it up in the sky, and I think we'll be good. Yeah. You know what, Atcha? I think you're right. Getting rid of some of the contrast there. Yeah. Here, thank you.
I think you should paint right there.
Right there?
But
Okay.
and
Where is the autistic freedom? I'm a control freak, that's all. Here, like,
you made the pillows.
we're gonna put this in here.
Yeah.
Get a little bit of highlight there, you reckon?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You were just going for something a lot more subtle than I was. That's what it is. You're just like a really subtle artist.
Right.
Yeah?
You should put some right there a bit.
Up there? Okay, you're right. Let's kind of give a little highlight to that up there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Man, you're really good at this. You know what we should do?
Right there.
We should do this over here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know, you knew that we needed to do that, didn't you?
And make your name.
You make my name?
Uh-huh. When you're done.
Oh yeah, I'll sign it. I'll sign it a bit later. Yeah, there's this like little cement area
Yeah.
right here. There's actually a really nice texture right there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah? You agree?
Yeah.
That's good. Okay. Oh, you are feverish. You're hot.
Right there.
So that's really nice.
What was that who I hear
Oh,
doing
PK Ring says bye. He says bye to you. He says bye, Archer.
bye.
You say bye, PK?
Bye, PK. K.
Yeah, PK Ring.
You should paint right there too.
Right where?
There, on top.
Show me.
Right here.
Right there? Yes, actually, I was telling everyone that I was very uncertain about having all that white there. But I don't know what to do about it. Because I don't want to you know what? I'm just gonna do it. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
And
you've
paint
convinced me.
right there a bit.
Yeah, like right in between all the trees.
Uh-huh.
Okay. You're on point. Do you think I should come to you for help more often?
And right here and right here a bit.
Yeah, so like in between everything. So, I need...
This paint. Or
Yeah, I'm trying to find... No. I'll just use this one. So what we're going for is a lot of white. Primarily white. So you know what we'll do? I think we're going to put white down in most of these places. And then put a little touch of the blue in. Or, actually, I'm just going to do that.
it's making whitish, so light,
It's making what, sorry?
whitish, bluish.
What? Yeah, whitish bluish. You're right.
Sometimes, I do that.
You do that sometimes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mix.
Oh, you know what we should use?
Mix.
We haven't used this yet. This is something that I got relatively recently. It's called Brie Reese. It's a like super fine sprayer. It's going to enable things to. I'm spraying it. It's getting wet. So it kind of gives me some time to mix things in. Like I might be able to mix this in without it giving lots of really hard edges.
Yeah.
We'll just hope it doesn't destroy everything else in the meantime. Oh, here we go. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. Might even have some questions for Archer. And you think you'd be up for answering some questions if they come in, buddy?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Do you notice you can talk like this? Daddy, I love you.
Did I know? Yeah, I noticed that I could talk like that. I just haven't necessarily felt the inclination towards that lately.
I love you.
I love you too. Oh, Amy.
This door.
Yeah, Amy says, how old are you, Archer?
3.
3.
This door on your computer. Here. This door right there.
Yeah?
Uh-huh.
The Flaming Galah says, does Archer prefer hot press or cold press?
Hot press.
You like hot press? That's the way. High five for that. Let's see. Do you have any questions for anyone else?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's fine. You don't need to know. Amy says you're adorable. Did you know that? You did know that? Aware of it and everything. Hey, buddy. Wow. Space Astronomy Kid is here again. Welcome back, Space Astronomy Kid. How's your swimming been? Oh. Watch out, buddy. There we go. So I don't know that this has been a complete success. You know what I might have to do next time? Do you know what I might have to do next time, Archer?
Uh-huh.
We might have to leave this at some point and then come back to it when it's all dry.
Yeah.
With a bit of a fresh eye to it. But you know what? Maybe while we're here, a rabbit has to leave. See a rabbit? You don't have foolish questions.
Do I have foolish good?
Yeah, we like your questions. We like it. Okay.
But I can't see much.
You can't see much? Why not, do you think?
Because there's some of that stuff on it.
Because it's kind of wet? Oh, right.
I can squeeze me if I can't breathe.
Big squeeze. Okay. Some stuff down there. But I think we might have to leave that there for the day. Not sure how successful this was, but I think if we come back to it with fresh eyes, we can make it a good paper. Might come back to it and not look at the reference and kind of just gauge it and see what we need.
Let's go play in the trampoline.
You can play the trampoline.
What is some more of those?
Some more of what, sorry?
That.
This? Amy thinks I should just quit my job and the next stream you should paint. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I'll make a rainbow.
You make a rainbow?
With some drip drops and sun.
That would be, oh yeah, because you need the drip drops from the rain and then you need the sun behind you. Then you have a rainbow. Good call. But you want to say goodbye to everyone?
Goodbye.
We'll see you guys later. Thanks for joining.
I love that shit.
Amy says she loves your rainbows.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
We'll see you guys on Thursday.
We'll